welcome back to another video. I wanted to film this video for quite some while. I make vlogs and I make like creative videos, whatever. There's also another kind of video that I want to start to make and I'm gonna begin to make. Those of you who don't know, the reason I have my channel is so I can basically document my life. I feel like it's gonna be really cool when I'm like older and I can just watch it all back on YouTube. It's like I don't know, like an archive of my life. 2 weeks ago, I turned 24. I decided I'd like to make this video as a moment of reflection. Every time you have a birthday, you think about things have changed over that year, and I think as this is my video diary space, it's a good place to reflect, not react. Since I've turned 24, I feel like a lot of things have changed. So I want to just take the time to reflect. I picked out like 4 major points for myself that I feel like I can reflect on, that I will reflect on, and we're gonna dive into them. I spent my birthday in Marrakesh with my boyfriend. It was so good. It was such a nice holiday. It was the perfect place to be in that time and space that I was. I spent my birthday doing nothing, just relaxing, and usually I'm doing the most, blah, 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 but it was so chilled and like so pure, and I really enjoyed it. It was what I needed. I've broken it up into like 4 things that have stood out for me over the last year of being 23 and going to 24. I'm just gonna talk about them. The first thing for me would definitely be seasons and reasons. I've moved to London just over a year now. Back home, I knew everyone that I needed to know. Everyone who needed to know me knew me. I knew my friends really well, my family really well. I was really close with certain people. I was really comfortable in terms of like a social space, who I was and who I knew and who was in my life and who impacted space. Moving to London, I move away from my friends, I move away from my family. I think one thing that happens is when you move, you realize that certain people are in your life for a certain season and for a certain reason. It's okay that they're not going to be in your life forever. Doesn't mean that you're not going to rekindle friendships, or your friendships and relationships are not going to shift. But something that I have come to terms with is that the people that I thought would be in my life or in my life in a certain way now, they're not. And I'm totally okay with that. The people that I didn't think would be so prevalent in my life, they do, and it's the right people in the right space in the right season for me. Now, I don't think it's something that anybody can control. I just think it's something that naturally happens, which leads me into my second point. Control is a massive one. I left a space where I was so in control of where I was going and what I was doing and who I was when I came here, because I didn't know anyone. I had quite a few friends, actually, to be fair, who lived here, but I didn't know any Londoners. I feel like that in itself is massive. When you know things and you know people and you know spaces, you have some form of control. But here I really didn't. From like living situation, how we found our place to live and all that stuff, I literally had no control, and I had to accept, and it's now something that I can accept, that it's like you can give 150%, you can plan as much as you want, but you actually do not have the final control or the final say of how it's gonna go and where you're gonna end up. There's points in my life still where I'm like, oh, I wish I just had a little bit of control of it. I'm accepting that, you know what, sometimes it is not in your hands. You better let go and let God, girl. Boom. Gratitude. But not just gratitude for things, gratitude for yourself, honey boo boo. We always do like, okay, let's say New Year goals, or my birthday is quite close to New Year, so like I'm always in this like mad reflective space when it comes to November, December. I feel like when it comes to the end of a year, we start to always look back on a year, like what we did and what we did not do. I write down my goals, which I think is a blessing or a curse. I need to analyze that one. Sometimes you look at the things that you didn't do and you let them outweigh some of the stuff that you did do. We should all be really proud of showing up for ourselves every day, doing the most that we can. I feel like this year I really worked really hard. I was looking back like, oh, I could have done more, I could have done this. I think be gratitude to yourself for what you do for yourself. I think that's important. That's something I want to do more of. And then also on the gratitude for people. Never, more now than ever, don't take people for granted. I lived with my family for a long period of my life. It was only when, like last year, only when I moved out and when my mom was like selling her house in between, we weren't together. But before that, we had always all been together. My brother moved to America. So now we're all like spread out. We all always took for granted how easy and accessible it was to always just be a family. Now it's like, I really wish I was more appreciative of that. Wow, a bit deep. The final thing for me is doing what you love. I think that's so important. I now go to work every day and I love my job. Not to say there's some days where I'm like, ugh. However, on the whole grand scheme of things, I love where I can feel my career going. Where energy goes, energy flows. Also, do what you love. One thing I love to do is travel. It's like, I love dance and I love creativity and I love the industry, blah. But I love to travel. This year I spent loads of time and loads of shmoney traveling. When I look back on this year and like all the places and things that I've seen, I'm really thankful that I made doing that one thing that I love a priority. I think it's like a forever promise to myself that no matter what it is that I'm doing, I want to be doing it because I love to do it. I feel like the goal or the vibes, when I lay my head down at night, I want to be like, I spent my day doing things I love. Not every day is going to be perfect. Not every day you're going to do what you love. Not every day you're going to have all this gratitude. Not every day you're going to accept no control. One thing I love to do is watching movies with Kenny. I did so much of that this year. I'm so glad that's what I spent my time doing. I love traveling. I am so glad that I spent loads of my time waiting on late Ryanair flights. For me, majorly doing what you love is a massive thing. It's something I'm encouraging myself to do more. Something I'm encouraging people around me to do more. I feel like that's that and all. Turning 24, don't feel that much different, to be honest. When people ask me what age I am, I'm like 21. I feel good, I feel blessed. And I feel like when I watch this when I'm 25, I'm gonna be like, what the hell is she talking about? I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a spiel and that little bit of a skiddy wop. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a good day. That was just a whole lot of talking. Recently I turned, let me start again. I wanted to film something, I don't know how I feel about this actually. We're up close and personal, yeah.